All right, hello and welcome to the Postgrad Year. Today we're going to be talking about the Commonplace book, as we do every time, because that's the main point of this channel. All right, now we're going to go to ideas. I almost selected the index, which is, well, I have a lot of opinions on that. So what we're doing right now is we're looking for the section, which I can't seem to find right now. Where is ideas? Oh. It's caught under my Band-Aid. Yep. That's so annoying. Alright, so we're almost to it. We gotta go all the way to the back because it is the last wall of text. Alright, look at that. That is a wall and a half. Yeah, so we got one thing and then two things at the bottom. Not exactly the best use of resources, but that's what happens with pages when they're pages. So, video. Do a video on funding needed. Yeah, I mean, you can pause if you want, but do a video on funding needed or cost to create a Commonplace book. Yeah, so a lot of guys, well, not necessarily guys. I think a lot of people in information sciences are actually women. I think in library science, it's actually like 3 to 1. Well, 3 to 1. But anyways, I believe funding needed or cost would go really well with a Commonplace book title. So I need to look up how much things cost. Binder, pencils, pencil sharpener. Obviously pencils and pencil sharpener would be different if you're using pens or ink or whatever. The fact that a bunch of little things might degrade a bit faster over time, like +1 trash bag needed per season. Yeah, that's a really small thing, but if I'm going through every detail, I might actually have to do that, which would be a little silly, but, you know, we can do that for a video if you guys want. Or if I get really bored. How much the things cost, if all bought at once, versus in person, versus online. So it's going to be different depending on the person, where they live, what they already have, but, you know, we can try to throw all those numbers on the screen at the same time. It would be really crazy, but we can do it anyways. What do we got? Oh yeah, let people know I haven't totally run the numbers, and the first video would be a draft. Yeah, that'd be a little scummy. Or perhaps try to run the numbers, but let people know it won't be accurate. Also, a little scummy. And not just because some things like a person already having a binder significantly reduces the cost, and assume that a person will actually be in this forever. Yeah, so if you're doing this for like, sorry, I realized I was just holding it forever and my hand was kind of, okay. If you're doing this for one day, you can get a box and just throw some pages into it. That doesn't matter. If you're doing this for 100 years, you're going to need a place to put all your stuff. You're going to need a computer. You're going to need somebody to talk to about this. You're going to need to read a bunch of articles. You're going to need to do so much. And obviously, most people aren't going to be doing this for one day or 100. But like, if you're doing it for a month, you might need a pencil sharpener. If you're doing it for a year, you're definitely going to need a pencil sharpener. And if you're doing it for a year, you got to figure out how to store stuff. If you're doing it for 10 years, you got to figure out how you can move from one house to the next. Because like, if you got to bring it all with you, and you got like 100 notebooks, yeah, you don't want to do that. Like, that would be bad. That would be really bad. Almost as bad as me losing my spot. So let's see how quickly I can find it. Well, we'll just start here. Significantly reduces the cost and assume that a person will actually be in this forever. So they won't buy one binder, they'll buy 4 as a set. Yeah, so you can normally buy stuff from a bulk store, or even from a normal store, sort of in bulk. So like, it might be better to get 4 as a set, but maybe they will buy just 1. Would probably need a thumbnail that says the amount on screen. Yeah, I don't really know how to do thumbnails. Or maybe 2 numbers, high and low cost. Maybe that should be the title in addition to subject. Have numbers for 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, and 100 years, or maybe 1 video on each time frame. Start. I mean, that would also be kind of scummy. You know, a lot of the ideas end up being kind of scummy because nobody's really commenting. I mean, some people are commenting, but like, I am so far ahead with my output than I am with people actually watching. So I'm not sure if that means I need to slow down, if I need to just focus on making better videos, if I need to deal with all the other things in my life, because, you know, you gotta like make your bed, vacuum, clean the windows, you know. You gotta do everything else. So maybe I just chill out and don't do anything for a few months. I don't know. There's a lot of other stuff to do. But I do want this to be like a main part of my life. So I don't want to just like stop. Although at some point, I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna be like, I can have a 6-month break, you know. What a vacation that would be. But like I said, I am a year ahead, so we'll see what happens. 1 year and 100 years, or maybe one video each time frame. Start with the shortest and build up, because if it's 1 month and all you need is a thing to write on, yeah, we were talking about this earlier, and a place to put it, that could literally be a cardboard box and 10 sheets of paper. But if using a binder, you'll need a hole puncher for the pages. Yeah, if you're using a binder, you need a hole puncher. Sorry. Do not stab the paper through this. Just, no. I did this when I was like, well, I did that when I was in like 5th grade, because I was like, well, it works. You know, because I was very insistent on making things that worked, and with the minimal amount of effort and with the minimal amount of resources. Partially because things kept being stolen from me. Like, I didn't really lose things. They were stolen or they broke. I didn't really lose them. But, you know, there were so many things stolen from me that people thought I was a history guy, because the only books not taken from me were history books. Good times. I mean, they weren't good times, but this isn't a therapy session. So, on to the process. If taking little steps day by day to get somewhere you like, oh no, it's just taking little steps day by day to get somewhere you like. Yeah, so you just write down stuff, and you combine it, and you get something, which is pretty cool. Obviously, it's a lot better to add actual data and, you know, a reasoning as to why this stuff is there. But again, you just write down the reasoning. You can just Google some data, or data, I guess. And that's about it. But we have one more thing. So, process. Just make sure you can read it. Yeah, so if you're watching earlier in some other videos, you might have seen that I can't always read my writing, which is a little bit of a problem. But that's the thing, it's handwritten. It's not typed and printed, or just on the computer and typed. So if someone's writing in a sloppy way, some might get lost in translation from my own language, from my own hand, from my own brain, which is a little embarrassing, but that does happen, you know. And if you don't screw up the handwriting, somebody might spill tea or coffee, or if you get really unlucky, maybe like go to the bathroom on it. But, you know, that's not really likely. You might drop it. It might just fall in a puddle. And that's why it's so good to, at the very least, just take a picture of like some of the pages. You know, if it's really important to you, it's good to have one record. But we already have one record, and we're making a second one. So if we make a third, it's not as much of a stretch, really. I mean, it's annoying. You probably don't want 800 records. If you have 5, though, you might seem a little crazy, but you'll have the peace of mind. You'll be like, well, I have it in the cloud, I have it on my computer, I have it typed, and it's also printed, and it's on a USB drive, and it's on an external hard drive, and it's like, chill, you know? But if you do something like that, you'll never have to worry about it. Unless, of course, there's like an EMP, and then a fire, but like, unless you're getting a solar flare that directly targets your house, like, I don't, like, you're probably fine. But that's it for this video. The next video will be more of the same. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something and had a good time. Okay. It's really weird not looking at my face, you know? I'm looking at this little dot. I see you. I mean, I don't see you. I see myself over here, and I want to just, like, hop around like a little bird. I know I've said that before, but yeah, that's it. Okay.